seems to be working. Suppose let's rock and roll then. Hello everyone, my name is Jay. I'm one of the expert PTE teachers here at E2 Language. In this live class, we're going to focus on PTE reading, and we're going to look at multiple choice single answer, which, by the way, is quite difficult on test day, as you would have noticed by now if you've done your test. So what we're going to do is this. I'm going to give you a task description. I'm going to describe what this task looks like and what you have to do. I'm going to talk to you about the different question prompts that you might see on test day. This is really critical. The question prompts are what this task is all about. Then I'm going to show you a method. We're going to do some practice, and then I'll just recap what we've learned, okay? So, task description. On test day, you're going to see something that looks like this. This is multiple choice single answer. Let me just label it for you because we need some language. This thing here, we call this the question prompt, okay? Question prompt. That's called the question prompt. These things here are called the answer options. Okay, so we're going to talk about this today. So you need to know what I'm talking about. And this here is the text. Okay, so we've got a question prompt, answer options, and text. No problem. The text has about 110 words max. So it's quite short. It's quite short. The text is short. Multiple choice, multiple answers is in fact quite a bit longer. Okay, and you're going to get 2 or 3 of these types of questions on test day. Fine. Let's talk about the question prompts because that's probably the most critical bit. So I've just simplified the question here. On the left, you can see the text, you can see the question prompt, and you can see the answer options. So you may get a question prompt that asks you about the theme of the text. Okay? In which case, you've got a theme like, is this text here? Is this about online learning? Is it about tertiary education? Is it about high school studies or childhood learning? What's the theme? That's one of the possible question prompts. Or you might get, what is the topic of the text? Is it about educational psychology? Is it about e-learning? Is it about learning through play? Is it about language learning, for example? Or you might get, what is the main idea of the text? What is the main idea? That children acquire language, that children are taught language, that children learn language through their mothers, that children struggle with language. What's the main idea of this text here? Or you might get a question prompt that says, what is the purpose of the text? Is the purpose here to inform? Is it to warn? Is it to criticize? Is it to rebuke, for example? What's the purpose of the text? Or the question prompt might say, what is the writer's opinion? That children should be left alone, that parents should read to children, that many children need help, or that few children need help? What's the writer's opinion? Or you might see one that says, what's the writer's attitude? Is his attitude dismissive, contemptuous, disapproving, or respectful? So these are slightly different. Some of them, there's not much difference between the two. For example, the first one we saw, what was it? Theme and I forget. The first one was theme. The second one was topic. There's not much difference between theme and topic. Theme is a little bit more broad, whereas topic's a little bit more specific. Or the difference between tone and attitude. There's not much difference there at all. But what I'm trying to show you is that you have a purpose for reading because the question prompt asks you to read for something. You're not just reading that text. You're reading it with purpose if you understand the question prompt, right? Let's go back. I'm going to go through them again. So theme, topic, main idea, purpose, writer's opinion, writer's attitude. This is an interesting one. This is a difficult one. What is inferred by the text? This means an inference, you may get this question prompt, by the way. An inference is something that is not explicitly said. It's something that's implicitly said. So the author might not write it directly, but you can sort of get a feeling or understand something from the words that this is what he or she means. That's an inference. We're going to do a practice one of those later. So the inference might be that parents should leave children alone. He doesn't say that explicitly, but that's what this text says. Or that children learn more from their friends, or teachers often interrupt learning, or school systems need an overhaul. Or you might get one that looks like this, and it says, what does specific detail mean? That language is innate, that language is a social performance, that language is learned by rote, that language is prone to errors. So now we're looking not at main ideas, but specific details. Or you might get one where you have to guess the meaning of a word from the context. So it might say, what does the word X mean? Like acquisition or something. There's some complex word able to be learned, able to be extrapolated from, able to be forgotten, able to be built upon. Right, so they were the different types of question prompts that you may see on test day, and that's critical. Now we're going to look at the method for how you should go about answering this type of question, okay? So, method. Firstly, understand the question prompt. What are you reading for? Even if you're anxious, even if you're sort of feels like a bit of a dream state in the exam because of your nervousness, focus on the question prompt. What are you reading for? What's in the text that you need to find? Okay, so that will look like this. So what is the writer's opinion? So the key word here is opinion. So you're going to be looking for an opinion. But before you go to the text, you should connect the question prompt to the answer options. Connect the question prompt to the answer options. What I mean by that is, if you're looking for the opinion, then what's the opinion here? Children should be left alone. Leave children alone. Leave children alone. That might be the opinion. Or parents should read to children. Parents should read to children. That might be the opinion. So you're connecting this to the different answer options, okay? Or that many children need help, or that few children need help. What's his opinion? Then you go to the text. Then you deep read the text. Remember, it's only 110 words. It will take you about 20 seconds to read and maybe 30 seconds to deep read. So you really need to read that text and understand it. Okay, so you go over to the text and you understand it. Then, step 4, you eliminate incorrect answer options because you know that these 3 are wrong because he didn't say that. That's not his opinion. And that leaves step 5, where you choose the correct answer option, which is here. Parents should read to children, for example. Cool, let's put this into practice, okay? I want you to run through the method with the following question. So I want you to read the question prompt, understand it. What's it asking you to read for? Okay? Then connect that question prompt to the answer options. Then I want you to deep read the text. You have enough time to deep read the text. Then I want you to eliminate the incorrect ones before finally selecting the correct one. Now, I'm going to give you 2 minutes per question because really on exam day, you should be spending no longer than 2 minutes maximum. Remember, it's 110 words. You can probably do this in a minute and a half per question. You have to manage your own time on test day for reading. So there's a timer here. You'll see the timer. Don't freak out with the timer. Okay, here we go. All right, that's 2 minutes. Let's have a look. What have we got here? What have we got? Whoa! Got lots of different answer options. That's not good. Damn. And not many people got the right answer. I thought this one was easy. Interesting, interesting, interesting. All right, all right, all right. Fine, fine. Let me talk you through the answer here. So before I go to the answer, let's just look at this. So we're going to read this question prompt, and it says, what is the author's opinion? Okay, so we're looking for an opinion. So what's the opinion here? She is a bird. Well, okay, that's a weird opinion. That's not really opinion. I'm not happy with that one. She is clever. Okay, that's definitely and it could be a possible opinion. She is smarter than most 8-year-olds. That could be an opinion. She has an unusual behavioral quirk. That could be an opinion, I suppose. She learns quickly. Okay, so it can't really be A. I'm not happy with A. Fine. Then we go over here to the text and we read this. In the early 2000s, the New Caledonian Crow. Okay, so Betty is a bird. So that's an opinion. That's not an opinion. Betty in Oxford shocked the world when she spontaneously bent a hook into a straight piece of wire while trying to retrieve a small, out-of-reach basket with a handle from a vertical tube. Interestingly, when human children were tested on a similar task setup, they showed great difficulties with coming up with a suitable solution until the age of nearly 8 years. New Caledonian crows are specialized tools users in the wild, and their ability to handle tools is innate. Nevertheless, in this case, Betty seemed to innovatively produce a novel behavioral sequence on an unknown material. Okay, now we want to go through and eliminate. So, definitely not A, because she is a bird. It's not an opinion. Definitely not C. She is smarter than most 8-year-olds. It does not say that. It says... it just does not say that. She learns quickly. Well, it didn't say that. We've got 2 here. Now, a lot of you chose D. She has an unusual behavioral quirk. Is that an opinion, really? Because, yeah. All right, let me think about this. To be perfectly honest, my answer was B. I wrote these questions, by the way. My answer is B. If you got B, she is clever. That is definitely correct. Now, is D also possibly correct? Is the author's opinion of Betty that she has an unusual behavioral quirk? Well, that's not really an opinion. It's not really an opinion. Okay, let's read here. I think most of you got it from this sentence here. Nevertheless, in this case, Betty seemed to innovatively produce a novel behavioral sequence on an unknown material. The author's opinion is that Betty has an unusual behavioral quirk. I don't think that's the answer. I think this is a much better answer. This is the author's opinion of Betty, that she innovatively produced a novel behavior and she's smarter than children from 0 to 8 years old. In other words, his opinion of Betty is that she is clever. Maybe you can argue with me against this one, but B is a better option than D here. Now, one of the reasons why you may have chosen D is because the sentence was longer and it looked more complex. And if it looks more complex, then that's probably right because they're trying to trick you. Don't think like that. It's not about the length of the answer option. It's nothing like that. It's about meaning. It's about meaning. Now, the meaning might be short and easy to understand, like option B. So don't see big words and think that must be it because that's more complex than B. No. Let's do another one. So she's clever. Cool. Practice 2. Here we go. Here we go. Here we go. All right. Cool, cool, cool. Fine, fine, fine. Okay. Uh-oh. Hold on, let me just check you guys. All right, that's looking good. People are saying tricky one. Okay, they're tricky. They're tricky. Yeah, in the PTE, they're tricky. They're tricky. All right, let's have a look at this one. So let's read the question prompt. The question prompt says, why could people see more clearly than usual? So this is going to be looking for a bit of a detail. It's going to be looking for a detail. So let's connect the question prompt to the answer options. So they could see more clearly because the sun disappeared suddenly. They could see more clearly because there was no moon present. They could see more clearly because of the near objects, or they could see more clearly because people's GABA receptors malfunction. Now, if you just chose this one because it looks more complex, think again. So let's go across to the text and read it. So why could people see more clearly than usual? If you were fortunate enough to witness the recent total solar eclipse in all its glory, you might have noticed something surprising. It was dark as night, yet people and objects were easier to see than on a typical moonless night. Okay, so I'm going to eliminate B immediately. Scientists have discovered a possible biological explanation, the presence or absence of a protein in the retina known as the GABA receptor. The GABA receptor is in abundance on certain cells in the retina on sunny days and enhances the ability to see details and edges of objects. At night, it disappears. But that process is normally gradual. That process is normally gradual. When the total eclipse took viewers from brightness to darkness in minutes, the GABA receptor would have still been present on those cells in their eyes, giving them super sharp night vision for a brief time. So why could people see more clearly than usual? The answer is A, because the sun disappeared suddenly, not gradually. D is incorrect. It says nothing about people's GABA receptors malfunctioning. B is incorrect because the moon was present, or at least it doesn't say anything about that. And C is incorrect because it doesn't say anything about near objects. Just out of interest, who got A? Just put into the chat a smiley face. Yes. Good, good, good. Nice. Nice, nice, nice. Let's keep going. Let's do some more. Good one. Whoopsie. Practice number 3. Okay, let's do it. Okay, that's 2 minutes. Now, I'm a bit worried to look into this chat here. Let's have a look. Oh, no, lots and lots of different answers. I'm going to give you another 2 minutes. I hate to do this, but I'm going to give you another 2 minutes. So let's go back. I'm going to give you another 2 minutes to get this right. Read the text carefully. Understand the question prompt, okay? Wait, actually, I need to give you a bit of a hint here because this is the question about inference. So the answer, one of these answer options, it will not be explicitly mentioned in the text. You will have to read between the lines, okay? It's the meaning behind the text. So you have to assume something here. I want you to do it again. Read carefully. Okay, so that was 4 minutes. That's way too long to actually spend it. Let's see. Okay, yep, good. Okay. Okay, before I give you the answer, I want you to think about, I want you to justify your answer to me. Justify your answer. Type into the chat, into the comments, why you chose A or B or C. Where in the text can you take that from? What is the information in the text that gives you that answer? Tell me. I want you to justify your answer for me, please. Give me a reason why you chose A, B, C, D, or E. What's the reason that they were victorious, for example? Where does it say in the text that they were caught, or that they became war heroes, or that they perished, or that they escaped? Let's have a look. All right. Okay, so, okay, yep. So, okay, so Ruffy says Ruffy chose A because the Hunley delivered a blast from 135 pounds of black powder. So the assumption there is that they were victorious because they delivered a blast using black powder. Is that a good justification? Does it really, because they delivered a blast, does that mean they were victorious? It's not strong enough for me to be convinced. Okay, Shafir's chose as E because the remaining crew were rescued. Okay, well, that's interesting. The remaining crew were rescued. But remember that we're reading about, there were two actors here. There's the Hunley, okay, the Hunley, which is a submarine. And then there's the Housatonic, which is a warship. So the Hunley delivered a blast, the Housatonic sank, and the Housatonic lost 5 crew members or seamen, but came blah, 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 blah. The remaining crew members were rescued. Now, was that the remaining crew members of the Hunley or the Housatonic? In fact, it was the Housatonic, but we're interested in the crew members from the Hunley. Let me take you through this one and show you what the answer is. So, what can be inferred about the crew of the Hunley? So it's not going to say it explicitly. We're going to have to read between the lines. So the Hunley crew were victorious. The Hunley crew were caught. The Hunley crew became war heroes. The Hunley crew perished or died. That's another word for perish. They died or they escaped. Let's read this. So it says, the Hunley's first and last submarine combat mission occurred during the Civil War on February 17, 1864, when it, the Hunley, sank a 1,200-ton warship called the USS Housatonic outside Charles Harbor in South Carolina. The Hunley delivered a blast from 135 pounds of black powder below the waterline at the stern of the Housatonic, sinking the Union ship in less than 5 minutes. Housatonic lost 5 seamen. 5 seamen died, but came to rest upright in 30 feet of water, which allowed the remaining crew of the Housatonic ship to be rescued after climbing the rigging and deploying lifeboats. The fate of the crew of the 40-foot Hunley, however, remained a mystery. So there's some key words in here. I'm going to point them out. So the Hunley's first and last mission. The fate of the crew remained a mystery until 1995, and this happened in 1864. Using these clues, I want you to retype what you think the answer is, A, B, C, D, or E. Let's have a look. Hopefully, yes, it's looking more consistent that you're talking. Okay, good. The answer is D. They perished. So the Hunley crew members died. That's what can be inferred from this passage. Okay? Good, fine. I hope that's clear. Practice number 4. We're going to do 2 more. 2 more. Stay with me. Stay with me. Here we go. 4th one. Alrighty then. What have you got? This is looking much better. Well done. Well done. This is looking good. Yes, yes, good. You should be able to justify it. Remember that. If you're unsure, try and justify it to yourself. Say, okay, it has to be A, B, C, or D. It has to be D, for example, because it needs a reason why. You're not just choosing arbitrarily. You're choosing with purpose. You're choosing for a reason, okay? Yeah, this one's a little tricky. Let me walk you through it. Okay, let's read the question prompt because we want to know what we're reading for. What would be an example of echolalia? All right, so this is a strange word. We don't know what this means. In fact, I didn't learn what this means until yesterday when I found this and I thought, oh, that'll make a great question. I've heard the word before, but I wasn't sure. So if you don't know it, that's fine. What would be an example of echolalia? So let's connect the question prompt to the answer options. So an example of echolalia would be mimicking another's phrase. An example of echolalia would be blinking if someone else blinks. An example of echolalia would be becoming excited with someone, or yawning after someone else does it, or throwing a ball to somebody. What's an example of echolalia? Fine, now we deep read the text. Feeling tired? Even if we aren't tired, why do we yawn if someone else does? Research suggests the human propensity for contagious yawning is triggered automatically when we observe another person yawn. It is a common form of echophenomena, the automatic imitation of another's words, echolalia, or actions, echopraxia. And we don't even need to read any further than that. Because what we're doing is we're reading for detail, so we can just cross all this out. We don't really care about that. Really, we care about from here to here. I'm sorry, that's too messy. I'll just leave it. So, echolalia, it says the automatic imitation of another's words, echolalia, or actions, echopraxia. But we're focusing on echolalia, so let's have a look. So the imitation of another's words, mimicking another's phrase. Well, that looks good to me. Let's eliminate the rest just to be sure. Blinking if someone else blinks. No, well, that's echopraxia. That's an action. So it's not B. Becoming excited with someone. Well, no, because echolalia has got to do with language. Yawning after someone else does it. Well, this talked about yawning a lot, but that's not echolalia. And throwing a ball to someone would also be echopraxia. Therefore, the answer must be A. Please put a smiley face into the chat if you got A. Let's have a look at all those smiley faces. Nice, nice, nice. Good. Someone put a party hat in there too. That's good. Cool. Last one, practice number 5. Here we go. All right, that one I think was a bit easier. Okay, there's a great question in here. It says, what does C and D mean? Yes, yes, yes. All right, let's go through the answers here. So let's read the question prompt. What is the author's tone? Tone. And then let's connect this to the answer option. So we've got, is it an excited tone? Is this text, is an excited tone? Is it an enthusiastic tone? Is it hysterical? Is it ambivalent? Or is it a concerned tone? Okay, so we probably know what that means. We probably know what this means, and we probably know what this means. Hysterical means to be sort of highly emotional, highly emotional. And ambivalent means to have, well, mixed feelings, like happy and sad, or sort of sure but unsure, mixed feelings. Okay, so you really do need to, if you don't know what these words mean, just leave them for the time being, and then see if it's A, B, or E. And if it's not the ones you know, then you can sort of just have a guess. Okay, so let's say we eliminate these ones and we read it and we go, okay, it's not concerned, it's not excited, it's not enthusiastic. And then you've got two choices. Well, then you should just guess one, for example. Okay, so you should definitely guess if you don't know the answer. But let's read this text now. It says, as the opioid crisis escalates, the science behind addiction remains poorly understood. To address this need, researchers at University of Zurich devised a system that allowed zebrafish, a small tropical fish, to self-administer doses of hydrocodone, an opioid commonly prescribed to people for pain. After 1 week, the fish had increased their drug-seeking behavior, even when doing so required them to put themselves in risky conditions. Further, 48 hours after the last exposure, conditioned fish showed signs of anxiety, a hallmark of withdrawal. So what's the tone of this piece of writing? Is it excited? No. Is it enthusiastic? No. Is it hysterical? No, it's not overly emotional. Is it ambivalent? It has mixed feelings? No. Is it concerned? Yes. It has a concerned tone. Now, the key words that give it away are, there's a crisis that's escalating. There's a need. Okay, will they increase their drug-seeking behavior, which is not good. Risky. They showed signs of anxiety and had some withdrawal. All of these words point to a concern. Cool. Let's recap what we've learned about multiple choice single answer. Let's just go through the method. So you need to understand that question prompt, and the question prompt might ask you about an opinion, about a tone, about a main idea, about a detail, an inference, a single word, something like that. Then you connect the question prompt to the answer options. You need, for example, if the question prompt asks you about an opinion, then you read the answer options and you go, okay, there's the opinion, there's the opinion, there's the opinion, there's the opinion, right? Connect that question prompt to the answer options. Then number 3, deep read the text. You have enough time. It's only 110 words. You have plenty of time to read that text and understand it. Then eliminate incorrect answer options before you choose the correct answer. Move on, pass the PTE, and live happily ever after. If you need help, by the way, check out, I don't know if you have a free account at E2 Language, but you should. Check out e2language.com if you need help. Lots of reading materials, tutorials, feedback on your speaking and writing, live mock tests like this one every Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday. Yeah, lots of good stuff going on at E2 Language. Check out our Facebook page, by the way. Lots of testimonials. We've got 220 to date of people, 4.8 rating. Anyway, let's go to question time. Let's go to questions. Cool. Oh, cool. Somebody got 5 out of 5. Actually, just for my interest, put into the chat what score you got out of 5 for all those 5 questions. How many did you get? 3, 3, 5, 4, 1, 3, 4, 1. Uh-oh. 3. Okay, it's a mixed bag. lot of people got 5 out of 5, which is great. 2, 4, 2. Okay. If you got, yeah, fine. Okay, somebody got the Betty Crow one, was confusing. Okay, now please put your questions into the chat. Okie dokie. VJ. Hi, Jay. Just in case, when you realize if you have short of time, which question task can be given less priority or can be ignored? Can someone ignore multiple choice question? Okay, don't ignore any of the questions in PTE reading. Even if you've run out of time, just guess. You don't lose points for guessing. Multiple choice, multiple answers, just guess one, for example, then move on. That's if you're really running out of time. I've just put up a new blog article on time management for the PTE. So go to the E2 language blog and look for the time management blog. You'll see I've broken down every task into how long you should spend on every task. So do check that out. Denise, what does inferred mean? Inferred means, all right, here's a very simple explanation of the word infer. We make inferences all the time. You do it, you don't know what the word means, but let's say I'm sitting in your house, you're making pancakes, okay? You're in the kitchen making pancakes and I'm sitting in your lounge room. And then I say, oh, geez, that smells good. What's the inference there? What have I asked for by not asking for it? I've asked for some pancakes. I'm basically saying, please give me pancakes, but I haven't explicitly said it. I've just implicitly said, oh, that smells nice. And then you will say, oh, do you want a pancake? Right? That's an inference, a very simple example of an inference. We're inferring something. You don't explicitly say it, you just read between the lines. Nishant, your webinar timings don't match based out of India. You can watch the recorded ones online if you want, but yes, we're thinking about doing several a day from now on. I'll let you know. Should we use the same technique that we learned today for multiple choice, multiple answers? It's similar, but it's a bit different. So please watch that lesson, which is on YouTube as well. Jay, what other tasks contribute to PTE reading? Well, you've got reorder paragraphs, multiple choice, multiple answer, single answer, fill in the blanks, and reading and writing, fill in the blanks, as well as read aloud. Rose, I'm a gold member on e2language.com. Can I get another lesson and feedback? Yes, you can simply upgrade from gold to platinum if you want. You just pay the difference between gold and platinum, and you'll get 2 additional tutorials and extra feedback. I can't remember how much on your speaking and writing. Jay, where did you personally find the most difficulty in the reading section? I think multiple choice, for me, it's different. For you, I think the hardest one is reading and writing fill in the blanks. Because there's no real method to that one. That one is just a test of your vocabulary. If you have a big vocabulary, you'll be fine. But if you have a limited vocabulary, you will struggle on that one. But also multiple choice single answer is difficult. Jay, do we get a pen and paper to write on? Yes, you get a pen and paper to write on in the exam. Okay, what if we run out of time? Do not need to read phrases, only see. And if you run out of, you need to manage your own time well. So for example, what we just did today with multiple choice single answer, you can see you only need to spend about 1 minute and 45 seconds, maximum 2 minutes on that question type. Then move on. Don't waste time on it, okay? Follow the method. Select the answer, click next. Jay, how to improve on reorder paragraph? Please watch the methods lesson here on YouTube. That will help you. Okay, I've got like 80 questions here. Hanumanth, I'm mainly struggling with fill in the blanks reading. Collocation list doesn't work for me. How to tackle this task with grammar? It's a vocabulary test. One of the What I noticed about taking the PTE and PTE reading specifically is it really is a test of your vocabulary. It's all about academic vocabulary. If you don't have the words, then you cannot possibly you need to build your vocabulary. You need to build your vocabulary very widely. You need to read widely. I recommend a website called sciencedaily.com. Do reading from that. It's excellent. It's perfect. It's like semi-academic, which is like the PTE. It's not like reading research papers or scientific articles because they're too academic. But this is a really good website for that. Newspapers are fine as well, but they're not so academic. You need to get into the sciences, into biology, into psychology and zoology or whatever it is. Jay, I'm 1 week away from my first PT. I'm feeling very nervous. What should I do in this coming week to get relaxed and fully prepared? I would suggest, if you're nervous, well, I think preparation relieves anxiety. Good preparation relieves anxiety. Yes, so prepare properly. If you're not a paid member at E2 Language, I would recommend, because you've only got a week, the budget package will give you access to all of the practice material, the methods lessons, and the live mock tests. So do come along to those live mock tests this week. That would be great. Cool. Andre, Jay, I have problems about timing. How can I improve that? Well, it's about balancing efficiency with accuracy. Now, how do you balance efficiency, moving quickly, with being accurate? It's about practice and having the methods and knowing exactly what to do when you see that task. Multiple choice, single answer, read the prompt, connect it to the question, connect it to the answer options, read the text, eliminate, select the right one, move on, next. You need to practice those methods. Nitin, nope, sorry, let me read another one. Oh, Jatinder, my last score was 80 plus in everything except for reading. I got 76. Tough. That's hard. Phoebe, hi, I only have 2 weeks to prepare. What can I do now? You should prepare. You should prepare properly. E2 Language package, either bronze or silver. You can definitely take your 2 tutorials in the next 2 weeks. That would be fabulous. Rose, how can I study the collocation list? I don't know how to use it. Okay, so in your platform for the E2 Language, even free members, you can download the vocabulary list. It's a list of collocations or words common. How can I describe this? A list of words that commonly appear with other words. Like you might have the adjective academic and then academic circles, academic papers, academic, whatever words come with that word academic to create natural sounding phrases. What should you do with this? You should just glance at the word list and just become familiar with how language works like this, because we don't use vocabulary as single words. Words always come with a partner word or in combinations. You need to start learning the combinations of the words, because that's what leads to fluent, native-like grammatical sentences, and will also help you in the reading tasks as well. Praveen, no, okay, just reading questions. Lunky, when can we have the methods lesson for retail lecture? It's a part of the E2 Language package. I might keep that one secret to make people sign up. Sorry. Need to pay the bills. Okay, fine. Jillian, is grammar in speaking as important as fluency? Okay, so for the speaking tasks, you've got 3 criteria. Three things that the computer is listening for. One is content, which includes vocabulary and grammar. One is oral fluency, how smoothly you speak and how immediately you can speak in terms of retrieving words, saying words. You're not searching for words, for example. Third one is pronunciation, how much you sound, how much your speech is like a native speaker. Okay, someone's asked me, when are we going to learn about the speaking tricks? Okay, here's the thing. Does it annoy me? It doesn't annoy me, but it worries me. It worries me when I see on YouTube like PTE speaking tricks, or what's a trick that I can use to pass the PTE speaking thing. There's no trick. There's no trick. It's hard. It's complex. It's complicated. You can't click your fingers and trick the computer and get a PT 90 in speaking. No, it's about understanding linguistics. It's about understanding the 44 sounds of English and finding the particular sounds that you're mispronouncing and then working on those sounds to improve them so they sound like a native speaker, and then taking the PT and using the E2 language method so you do all the tasks successfully. That's not a trick. That's hard work. It really is hard work. And if anybody tells you that there's a trick to doing PT speaking, I think you should walk away, honestly. It kind of, it frustrates me a bit. Because the reason it frustrates me is because people get fooled into thinking there's a trick for the PTE, and they might spend their money on learning tricks, or they might believe people who say there's a trick, and it's crazy stuff. It's crazy. Sorry, my little rant there. Jay, is there any audio channels to improve listening skills? I think you need to listen to lectures because the PT uses authentic lectures. So if you go into YouTube and you can, they're quite random. There's no real collection of lectures. Type in Stanford, like Stanford University, type in Stanford lectures or Yale lectures and just choose randomly and just start listening to some proper academic lectures. That would be helpful. And take notes. Take notes while you do it. Karia, I've got my test on Tuesday and I feel pretty confident. Good for you. That's good. Okay. How many mistakes are allowed to achieve 79 plus? I don't know. The PTE don't tell us. Pearson don't tell us how they score, like how they weight the scoring, for example. Oh, good. Thank you, Parish. That's great. Okay. All right. I'm actually going to leave it there just because I've got hundreds and hundreds of questions and I've kind of got to go now. So people on YouTube, please click like, leave a comment. Thanks for coming. I appreciate you coming along. I hope it was helpful. I'm sorry I didn't get to your questions. If you do have a specific question, please email hello@e2language.com. hello@e2language.com. We will get back to you. Yeah, cool. I hope that was helpful. It's kind of fun. I enjoyed doing that one. I think just before I go, I think you can actually make this kind of fun. I think when you get taught bad methods and it's confusing, it's frustrating. It's so frustrating. You want to get the computer and you want to smash it on the ground. But if somebody teaches you it very clearly, I think it can be quite enjoyable, this thing. Yeah. Anyway, that's just me being a language geek. See you guys. Thanks for coming along.